in the 1990s, like, you know, if you had like a Honda Civic with ground effects and like pinstriping, that was cool too. Yeah, it lost its luster, you know what I mean? Like Frank Sinatra, he's cool. He'll always be cool. Elvis, he's cool. Always be cool. MC Hammer, yeah, he ain't so fucking cool anymore. And that's the thing. I don't want the tattoos that I do to turn around and become a fad where, yeah, I'm really mad that I got that, you know, whatever tattoo. Well, I mean, what it is right now, basically, with tattooing in the shop, we're definitely moving forward and doing a lot more things, a lot of different, you know, tattooing styles and whatnot. But there's a large preservation of the history of tattooing and just knowing your roots, knowing where you came from, you know. We want to, how do you explain it? We want to be on the cutting edge of things, but like I said, we don't want to be a fad that dies out in 10 years with the stuff that we're doing because of the fact that we got pigeonholed into, you know, what's cool nowadays, you know. I always go back to that. That's, if you look at, like, man, when I was a kid growing up, hypercolor t-shirts and New Kids on the Block and Skids and all that stuff was cool. And now look at it, people hate it. So I don't want to be tattooing things like the Tasmanian devil that we cover up nowadays, you know. It's just the nature of it. I don't know. Where are we moving? Where are we going? Right now, it's just about keeping the, you know, the tradition of tattooing where we came from alive, and, you know, carrying a piece of that into the future. That's, I guess, a good way to kind of sum it up. I definitely respect it and appreciate a lot of the things that are getting done in tattooing nowadays. There is people that are really pushing the boundaries of what makes a tattoo, which, yeah, I think is wonderful. At the same time, there needs to be balance on that because, you know, you can do a photorealistic portrait, which is beautiful when it's done, but 10 years down the road, is that thing going to look photorealistic anymore, or is it going to be faded in the sun and look like crap? So that's what I mean by keeping the tradition alive, of knowing that, you know, for example, me and everyone that works here, outlines. Every tattoo has to have an outline to it. You keep an outline on your tattoo so that it holds it all together. You know, it's just the basic knowledge of what our forefathers of tattooing went through. But at the same time, there's so many ways to push the boundaries within those limits and make really amazing tattoos. Working with my father, tattooing with him has been interesting. I mean, you know, it's my dad, so anybody knows father and son, there's definitely going to be, there's definitely going to be a conflict or a bit of a Siamese fighting fish in the tank together. But at the same time, you know, being second generation at this and having that family insight, I really like that. You know, I'm a big fan of, you know, being a second generation in tattooing and being able to look at the history and where he came from and what he's learned and passed on down to me. I always go back to history over and over again. It's very important because if you don't know where you came from, then you'll never know where you're going. And there's a lot of people nowadays out there in tattooing that don't have a respect for the history of tattooing. And what they wind up doing more than anything is they try to reinvent the wheel. They try to do things that, if you just listen to the guys from like the 50s, 60s, even the 90s, they've already done this stuff. They already tried every trick in the book. Some things you just can't do. You can learn a lot from, you know, the older generations of tattooing. And having that in my family, I'm proud of that. I'm proud to say that my dad, you know, tattooed, opened up this shop. Proud to be second generation in the business. There's not a lot of second generation tattooers out there. It's like we have our own little special club almost. Oh, things I think of when I think of Cliff's Tattoo. Respect and tradition, hands down. That's what we try to be about more than anything else, is respect and tradition in this business and keeping that alive. You know, there's 1,000,001 tattoo shops out there, but there's only one Cliff's Tattoo.